A stroke survivor will probably be on at least 2 medicines after their stroke. The first one will be what's called an antiplatelet medicine, which is prescribed to reduce the risk of a stroke happening due to blood clots. And the main type of those medicines are aspirin or clopidogrel or an anticoagulant drug such as warfarin. And they will also be on a statin, which is a drug used to reduce cholesterol, but in stroke patients it's been found that it is beneficial even if the patient doesn't have a high cholesterol.
After a stroke, there's a whole range of medications that the stroke clinician will start you on, and it's important that you leave hospital with a good understanding of what those different medications are.
I had medication for balance issues, keep my blood pressure down, simvastatins for cholesterol.
When I was in hospital, I was given given about 3 or 4 lots of medication, including aspirin, but I was taken off that just before I was discharged from hospital.
I'm not on a lot of tablets. I think I'm on 3 tablets a day. It did start off that I was on 9 tablets a day, but as time has gone on and they proved irrelevant or whatever, then they've whittled down to just 3 a day.
Knowing that I had to be on long-term medication, I found that very difficult to deal with, and mainly because the medication that I was on was all names that I remembered from what my dad took when my father was alive, and I found it extremely overwhelming, and also how I was going to pay for the medication. I didn't know if I'd be entitled to free prescriptions.
A lot of research has looked at why patients have strokes, and they found that if your blood is thicker, you're more likely to have blood clots, and you have blood clot in the brain, you'll have a stroke. So if you thin the blood, you'll be less likely to have a blood clot. If patients have a high blood pressure, they are much more likely to develop a stroke or other forms of cardiovascular disease, and the same goes for diabetes. It's people with diabetes whose blood glucose isn't controlled are more likely to have a stroke. So it's important to control those conditions.
If you're not sure whether you are entitled to free medication, I would suggest go and talk to the pharmacist, because whilst I felt very overwhelmed by this, it really isn't that difficult at all. You can sign up for a prepaid prescription service, which makes it a lot cheaper.
So the benefits of taking medication are sort of twofold. The first thing that the medications try and do is reduce your risk of having another stroke. The other thing that they can do is try and optimise your health after having a stroke. So with those things put together, hopefully those medications will really work for you.
If you want to know what the tablet's for, if you've got any concerns at all, go and talk to your doctor, because I do feel that they are the best people to advise you. If you're concerned, if you have to pay for your medication, if you're concerned how you're going to do that, if you've got to, whether you can be exempt from paying for it, I would suggest going and speak to a pharmacist. I felt very, very overwhelmed by this.
After having a stroke, it's really important to listen to the advice of the variety of health professionals that are going to be looking after you straight after hospital, and then the time that you go back into the community. There'll be GPs, there'll be physios, there'll be occupational therapists. All these people will have specialist knowledge about your stroke. But the key thing is, if you do have any concerns, your GP is a good starting point. Very likely you'll see the stroke specialists in the outpatient department over the next few months once you've been diagnosed with having a stroke. And again, that's a good point of call to raise any issues that you have. If you've got any concerns yourself, speak to your family as well and make sure that they're aware of your concerns. And again, these can be raised with the health professionals over the next coming months and years.
Stroke patients can also go to pharmacists. Pharmacists will be able to advise them about how to take the medicines for the stroke. They also will be able to advise patients on what other medicines that they're able to take.
Read the instructions in the box. If you can't, get somebody else to read them for you. You know, there's plenty of ways of finding out. But if they do make you fat, and they do make your hair fall out, at least you'll still be alive when it's doing it. And that's the main thing, that you're still here.